our respective ways. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Hamad Enkelba, Permanent Secretary Nde Marinjai, Permanent Secretary Ibrahim Sisao, DPS Technical Mamoudou Manjang, DPS Admin and Finance Mamoudou Jao, Alaji Mamoudou Tal, and then Director of Department of Lands and Survey, Dauda Party, Honorable Usman J. Bojang, absent, not around, and then Mr. David Gomez, Director of Governance and Director of Boundary Management, Mr. Ali Baji, Border Management, Boundary,
yes.
Yeah. Border Management, Director of Department of Community Development, Madam Fatou Jiba, Acting Director, DPPH, that is Department of Physical Planning and Housing, Amadou Dafe, Executive Coordinator of Banjul, Ibrahim Ajao, Executive Coordinator, Kanifi Municipal Council, Bakari Singate, Deputy Director, Department of Lands and Survey, Mr. Dauda Dabo, Deputy Director, NGO Affairs Agency, Madam Salimatu Jaite, Deputy Director, Local Governance, Mr. Senindong, Principal Planner, Dr. Samba Sow, Principal Decentralization and Legal Officer, Mr. Aliu Sedikan, Principal Assistant, Ministry of Land, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, Mr. Sajo Jata, Principal Physical Housing Officer, Department of Physical Planning and Housing, Amsu Party, Mr. Kamel, World Bank Consultant, and Dr. Abdul Ture, Lead Consultant. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it's an honor to have you this afternoon. The topic of discussion here is on the national land policy. As you are aware, recently His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Adama Barrow, launched national land policy, which is for the first of its kind in the history of the Gambia, to address some of the issues affecting land administration in our country. And then going forward as a government and under the able leadership of Honorable Minister Hamad Ba, we deem it necessary to dwell further, to disaggregate the message, to ensure that the citizen understands what this policy is all about and they are carried along. And in that respect, Honorable Minister invited all of you here to be around, and we'll give him the floor to read a statement, and after we'll open the floor for questions and answers. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Deputy Director of Press and Public Relations of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Sankano, you Office of the President. Thank you for coming to help us moderate this very important press conference that we felt it's important that we update the Gambian people as to how far we've gone in the implementation of this land policy. The landmark document in the history of land management and usage in this country. With the support of the World Bank, we have one of our very strong World Bank staff, directors, who's been very supportive in the government of the Gambia. The World Bank is quite interested, and they have supported this government in financing this policy. Now, we need to now raise the money to implement the policy. It will cost about $50 million for the implementation of this policy. And we need to now start moving on, tries to raise necessary funds to make sure that this policy is fully implemented in the next 10 years to come. It was necessitated because of the numerous problems that we are facing in this country. And the fact that almost over 60-something% of our court cases in the courts are all land related. I'm sure you all had the Chief Justice spoke on Sunday about the issues that we have with regards to the management and usage of land in this country. With the help of our lead consultant, Mr. Abdul Ture and Dr. Demba Sow, with other officers, including all directors in our ministry, under the leadership of the permanent secretaries that we have here, and the deputy permanent secretaries, were able to work with, of course, the Bar Association, with all other stakeholders in coming up with a policy that was accepted by the government of the Gambia. The entire document, as was presented to Cabinet, was adopted by Cabinet without changing one sentence out of it. The only two words that we adjusted was the issue of sexuality and the issue of equality and equity. Because of our religious, you must understand that there are certain connotations when you use them in a country that is fully Muslim and Christian. You have to be careful of wordings to avoid being imposed on something that's outside our normal traditional values and beliefs and norms. So those were the two only words that we edited in the policy. It was the most widely consulted document other than the Constitution in this country. They went to virtually almost every ward, every district, and most villages throughout the country. And the Gambians were given the opportunity also to give their input, most particularly those in the diaspora. They contributed immensely in the formulation of this document. And we believe that it was a document that everybody accepted and adopted. Now the question is, will the government implement this document to the letter? That's why it's important that we show you we have the political will, we have the desire, and we must implement this policy, come what may. And I can tell you that no other government can reject this policy. Whatever government that comes into power, you will accept this policy, and you will definitely take this policy on board. And in fact, most political organizations were also invited to give their input to this document. So it's a document that belongs to everyone, and it's apolitical. It's a document that comes to really serve the interests of the Gambia, because we must avoid the mistakes that happen in other countries. Gambia is one of the few countries that have very little land. I mean, I think among the 4 most densely populated countries in Africa. And the way our population is growing, if we don't make a policy to manage our land and usage of our land, then we face trouble few years to come. And we need to address that in order to maintain peace and make sure our citizens continue to take ownership of their country. The policy have gone to address a lot of issues, particularly ownership of land, vis-a-vis non-Gambians owning our land because they have the money and all the rest of it, at the expense of Gambians who do not have the money to be able to own that chunk of land. I think the policy have addressed all that. And it's our interest also to engage the media. And that's why the amount of money we are asking to implement this policy, each and every media house will have a role to play. Because we will transform this document, this huge document, into all local languages in the Gambia. They will be in tape, CDs, they will be in all languages. So everybody must be on board for us. This is nothing to do with politics. We must all come on board to put this policy in tapes, in audios, that even in all the language, that even in the village, anybody you go, you will say, no, this is our land, this is what we should do, this is what you, and we're going to give title to everybody who owns land in this country. Whatever land you have, you will have a title, ownership. So, and then everybody will feel proud that yes, this is mine, this is ours. And then the issue of gender has also been addressed. And I think we must accept that women have now been given their full rights, to own land as equally as men gonna have it. So it's a policy that we have to continue nurturing even after we are gone. You people people who are coming in, this policy will help. We've learned a bit from Ghana, who have succeeded. The World Bank have supported them. They've transformed their institutions. They have got now a sound policy that manages their land. And we also, Sierra Leone also have succeeded. They have also got a very successful program with the World Bank. Their policy is being implemented as we speak right now. So the permanent secretaries and other directors, all those involved in the project, went on a study tour both to Ghana and Sierra Leone, and of course to Uganda, who have also done a very fantastic good job in trying to manage and control their land. Because if you don't do that, few who are rich will end up owning your country. Or Those who are non-Gambians will own your entire land. When I own your land, I own your country. And this policy now is addressing that. No matter how rich you are, how powerful you are, you cannot take ownership of our country. Instead, you can come and develop. You can be with us. You can work with us. But at the end of the day, we will be the one to own our land. And I think for me, that's the most beautiful part of this policy. Because what we see, what we saw happen in the Combos and now the Forges and now in the Yomis and LRR is that people with money were just going seeing farmers, buying their land, thinking that they were getting a lot of money. When that money could only serve them 1 year, it disappears and they become destitute because these people tend to own the land. And that's why this policy is saying no to that. We're going to address that. We'll make sure that owners of land continue to own their land. If you want to work on the land, you have to sign a contract with them to use it for a duration. After the land revert back to them. Then selling your land to people because they have money, and when your children grow, they become educated, they become highly skilled, they have no land where they can work. And that's why this policy will certainly address all those issues. Then we take ownership of our country, our land. Because taking ownership of our land means taking ownership of our... And then, of course, the usage of this land must also be determined, because you need to have agricultural land, you need to have land for development, you need land for industrial, land for residential, and then land for environmental purposes, land for preservation. All these things are defined in the policy. That means you can no longer use land the way you want to use it before anymore. But then the challenges we have is the reform program. Because currently our laws need to be transformed to match the policy. The current laws, if you now own a property given to you by government or whoever you have it, you fence it, you keep it there speculating, to make sure in 10 years you sell it, you become a billionaire over us. When you got this land only on, nobody knows, we cannot even speculate. And then you fence it, then in 10 years you go and sell this land. The policy is addressing that. Now, if you have land, you don't develop it, every year you pay heavy tax to the state. And a certain period, if you don't use it, the state will take it back and you lose it. But the catch-22 is, in our current law, fencing a land means development. And we all know that's not development. So we have to amend the law to make sure that fencing is no longer development. If you are giving land to build a story building or build something for people to work on, you have to do it. You cannot just go and put a fence there, you say, I've developed my land. And therefore, the law cannot be on. So that means we have to amend our entire laws, or most of them will be amended to suit the policy, so that you cannot escape from the law by using a back door. So that's why it is important that we give you a brief of that, some of these things that need to be done. I think it will be 28 days today since the policy was rolled out in this country. And because of the importance of this to our national security and national stability, issue of land, that's why we want to make sure that we keep the people informed, keep them abreast, and let Gambian take also the ownership of this document and take the government to task on it. Because generation to come would say that if we implement this policy, we'll say our country is safe. We've been safe. You know, when we are gone, you people take over, you will say, yes, you really save our country, because at least we have taken ownership of our country. And that again, we realize that some of those implementing this policy, the staff who are doing this, also need to be educated, need to be in tune with the policy. They need to also sanitize themselves. We all know that we have had some very bad stories about Ministry of Lands officials, from the ministry, from physical planning, from lands, from governors, from district chief, alcalos, a lot of stories, unfortunately. And as a result, this policy is saying that educate the people, give them the new skill, the knowledge, so that they will be able to help implement this policy. Right now, I think we have about 10 who are on master's degree studies. And then we hope another 10 until we transform the entire cadre in this sector. They're all on scholarships to master's degree level. And we're going for the students who have excelled very well in geography, land management, many, including computer science, so that once they are in place, they will make sure that the issue of land management becomes easier, because you must give people the skill, the knowledge to be able to do the job. And in doing that, you must invest in them. You must put money to educate the people, and that's where we started. I said the first thing is, let's equip the people, let's educate them. Bring a new breed of highly educated young men and women to take charge, to be able to do this job. I think we have started that, and we hope that when these people graduate, the other batch goes, in a few years' time, you would have made sure that almost everybody who is on board is new, highly equipped with skills and knowledge to be able to do what the country needs. So I just want to read briefly on one of the items, few of them, so that we can now open the floor for you. The National Land Policy provides an implementation framework as well as a coordination and monitoring mechanism to guide the reform of the land sector. Under the policy, implementation, coordination, and monitoring responsibilities are proposed to be assigned to the restructured and upgraded planning and budgeting unit of the ministry. However, effective implementation of the policy will require a strong, well-resourced, and technically competent institution armed to drive and sustain the reforms outlined in the policy. Findings from the country study tours conducted to Ghana and Sierra Leone indicate that although all the three countries have national land commissions, the mandate and operational scope of the Gambia Land Commission are comparatively limited. In both Ghana and Sierra Leone, land commissions operate with fully functional secretariat and specialized technical departments that drive land sector reform under the policy oversight of their prospective ministries responsible for lands. In both countries, the Land Commission have well-established secretariat with the following core functional departments: title and land registration, legal affairs and alternative dispute resolution, cadastral index mapping, corporate service communication and advocacy, administration, program planning, monitoring and evaluation, surveys and land valuation. Additionally, the commissions in both jurisdictions have decentralized structures at regional and district level to enhance service delivery and implementation effectiveness. Notably, the Ghana Land Commission demonstrates stronger institutional effectiveness, particularly in the clear segregation of duties and function autonomy of its departments compared to Sierra Leone. Proposed option. In the light of the above findings and taking into consideration the Gambian context, the following two institutional options are proposed. Revision of Land Commission Act. Revise the current Land Commission Act to expand the mandate and function of existing Land Commission and establish a fully operational secretariat with 7 technical and administrative departments outlined above. Establishment of a national land and survey agency. Alternatively, abolish the existing Land Commission and establish a national land survey agency with 7 core departments. The agency would be headed by the Director General or Executive Secretary and governed by a board of directors with policy oversight provided by the ministry responsible for lands. Under the either option, it will be necessary to establish decentralized regional and district structures to ensure effective implementation. This will also require a comprehensive review of existing land-related laws and regulations alongside the enactment of new legislation where necessary. In both scenarios, it is critical to seek World Bank support to facilitate coordination, implementation, and monitoring of the land policy, particularly to strengthen the program coordination unit within the proposed Directorate of Planning, Programs, and Budgeting. There is also an urgent need to establish a multi-sectoral steering committee composed of permanent secretaries of land-related ministries. The committees should further include representatives from the private sector, development partners, civil society organizations, and academia to ensure inclusive oversight, coordination, and accountability in the implementation of the land policy. Current status and implementation outlook. Development and deployment of a national land information system. A tender for the development and deployment of national land information system was advertised, attracting 9 national and international firms. The evaluation and selection of most technical and financially responsive bidders are scheduled for February 2026. Upon completion of this process, a contract will be signed marking the commencement of the project. Review and amendment of the Physical Planning and Development Control Act. Terms of reference were advertised and 2 firms submitted proposal. 1 firm has been selected and the evaluation report has been submitted to the World Bank for approval subject to bank's no objection. Implementation is expected to commence in March 2026. Review of land laws. The TORs for the review of land laws were advertised and several firms applied. The evaluation, selection, and price negotiation have been completed. The Giraffe project procurement unit is currently preparing the contract documents for signing. The assignment is expected to commence in February 2026. Development of resettlement policy. The TOR were advertised and 3 consultants applied. The most suitable candidate has been selected. The WACA procurement team has submitted the evaluation report to the World Bank for approval. Subject to approval, the assignment is expected to start in February 2026. Capacity building. 10 staff members have been supported for long-term studies abroad and are currently enrolled in the respective programs. In addition to short-term training in GIS and remote sensing were conducted, benefiting a total of 50 staff from technical departments in 2026. Ministry plans to support additional staff for studies in critical need areas, including survey, valuation, real estate, physical planning, and engineering. Pilot for systematic land rights registration. Land rights registration. The development planning unit, with technical guidance from the World Bank, is currently preparing the TORs for the pilot systematic land rights registration exercise. Finalization of the TORs is planned for February 2026, with advertisement expected in March 2026. Construction of regional offices. With support from the technical departments and Giraffe, engineers, preliminary architectural design, and public awareness and sensitization. A consultant engaged on the WACA project has developed a draft communication strategy, which is currently under review. Once finalized, the ministry will implement a nationwide public sensitization campaign covering key land sector issues, including land registration process, land acquisition procedures, and the mandates of key land sector institutions. The campaign is expected to commence in April 2026, and we will be conducting across all regions and districts using television, radio, media, print, and the rest of it. Institutional restructuring. Effective implementation of the land policy and other development initiative requires a dedicated institutional structure with clear responsibility for planning, coordination, and oversight. In this regard, the ministry proposes to establishment of a Directorate of Planning, Programs, and Budgeting. The Directorate will serve as a central coordinating body for strategic planning, program, management, and project implementation within the ministry. It will be composed of 2 core units, the planning unit and the program unit. The key objectives of the Directorate of Planning, Programs, and Budgeting are 2. 1. Provide strategic planning, monitoring and evaluation, support of all ministry activities. 2. Strengthen coordination, supervision, and performance oversight of programs and projects under the ministry's mandate. 3. Enhance donor engagement through preparation of project proposal, concept notes, and related technical documentation. The National Land Policy further recognizes the importance of cross-border coordination and integrated land use management. The proposed establishment of a Directorate of Border Management will significantly strengthen the ministry's capacity to address the issues in a structured and coordinated manner, thereby supporting effective policy implementation and regional collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the few things I just felt I needed to give you, and there is a lot of departures we noticed when I came to this ministry from the First Republican government. In the First Republic, the minister does not have absolute power to allocate land. There was what we call the land allocation board. That board determines who gets what and where it goes to. That was in the First Republic. But when this constitution came, they came with the what they call land commission. The minister has absolute power. If I want to be a billionaire, I want to make you a billionaire, it's overnight, no checks and balances. That's detrimental to any country. It's dangerous for any country. And that's why when I came in, I instituted the senior management committee, where all managers sit and decide and determine land alone. But that cannot continue. When I leave, will that continue? It needs to be institutionalized. And that's why the reforms are taking care of that. So that no individual, the finance minister has all our money, but he goes to parliament, parliament determines how the money is spent. There is more money in lands for you to give that in the hand of a one person who can determine today whatever he wants to do and get it done without any checks and balances. That this policy is addressing that. That power will no longer be the minister's power. Minister can make a recommendation, but he shouldn't have absolute power to give land without going through the proper checks and balances that will protect national interests. And that's why this policy, the formulation of the policy was, everybody was involved, including the private sector. And that's why you see the policy, it's not, it is a government driven, a political, we have the political, the Barrow Administration have the political courage and mandate to do this. So we do this, and everybody came on board. So let's get it done. Now that we get it done, it will not do under the cabinet. We want to make sure that almost every month, we tell the people what's happening. So that everybody knows that we have a task before us as a nation to make sure that we protect and preserve these natural resources. It doesn't expire. One use is gone. So that means you have to manage how you use it. And there are a lot of things we have to ask questions. Should we continue to give companies free land? These are all questions we have to start answering as citizens in this policy. Should we continue to give people a big chunk of land? You know, a lot of things that we need to ask ourselves about these questions. They are relevant questions. You know, and then I think it is important that we take ownership of this of this document. This government has opened up the door for you. It has said that's it. We all participated, and with the help of the World Bank, we know that with all these things, the implementation process will continue, and nothing can stop it, inshallah. It cannot be very popular for some people. Some other quarters will not be happy with this policy. But I think the ordinary Gambian like me and you and us here would love to see this policy happen. But at the end of the day, if not tomorrow, 10 years down the line, you have nowhere even to live. Because it will be the ownership of few people who have money in the country, who have the muscle, isn't it? So this policy is saying, no, that cannot happen anymore. You take land, you develop it. You don't develop it, you take it back. And that's why the way you are giving land will now have to be structured to be done in a very transparent manner. No, nobody should have that exceptional power, you know, to really, allocate land the way you want it, just by choice or by feeling or by whatever. I think those days are they are gone for good. They never come back. And we pray And that's why, if you look at the layouts we have, they are all in trouble. Everywhere is a problem. Most of them. Salaji every day fighting. One plot, 3 people. One plot, people, lease plot. Because the way it should have been done, the way it was done before, and the way it is done under the current Second Republic is completely different. And that's why this government felt that it's high time we address these issues to avoid these conflicts, to reduce these court cases. And then we must thank the Chief Justice and the Attorney General Chambers for coming up with a new special court division that will deal with land matters. And then their intention, of course, is to remove land courts from chiefs to bring it to the normal court system. Because cases are lying there for 3 years, some of them 5 years, in the district chiefs. And this justice denied, justice delayed, justice denied. So we want to address that also, so that you go to a court, they sit on your case in 2 months, they respect. What you want to do also, you want to digitalize. People go for 3 years, 5 years. I found some files here. 6 years. When you ask where was this file, they cannot tell you. It was kept there, somebody dumped it, somebody. Those days will be gone. You will now come in 2, 3 days, you get a document, you go home. In less than 1 week, digitalized, you get your document, you got your title, you go. If you want to mortgage it, you want to go and do something, you get it. Why should you suffer getting a document 3, 4 years, subject to bribe and all the issues of that nature? That will be gone once we digitalize. And the cadastral mapping too. We make sure that you can tell where land is, who take what, who give this land today, who moved this land, who is allocated this land, and there will be transparency in the system. We are working on with a program with the Hungarian government to help us in this cadastral mapping. We have gone too far. We hope that very soon we are almost there. And we are also trying to build a head office that would have all the agencies in one place, so that the issue of moving from this, running from there, will also be history. So it's not an easy. We want to also digitalize all our documents. You go there, it's a mess that you see. Files all over, scattered. Once you put fire there, this country is gone. But if you digitalize it now, then all these documents are safe. And we are also, that's what we are now advertising. You see all these things, we are now advertising them for people to make a bid for us to start doing that work. I think Mr. Director of Press, Office of the President, Deputy Director, Office of the President, let me say now, I give you the floor. I want the World Bank consultant also to be given 2 minutes to make a statement, and if necessary, the PS and the lead consultant to add their voices before I open the floor to all of you. Yes.
We've been supporting you and your team for a few years now, and it's very important for us at the World Bank to see the results, of the support provided, and it's always a great pleasure to share these moments with you. So I think it's a good time to congratulate and reflect all the hard work that was done. As the Honorable Minister explained, it's an important step, but this is not over. Implementation is of the essence. And I think Honorable Minister highlighted very clearly very practical actions that are being taken, many of which are being supported by the World Bank under ongoing operations. So, of course, this is going to be a long journey. We want to see results soon, but as noted, we will see results in a few years, but it's going to take more than 5 years to 10 years. It doesn't mean you wait 10 years to get results, but you need to have support for long term. And this is where we will keep working with you and your team to, in addition to what you mentioned, look at how we can strengthen our support, do more with you, and make everybody proud of the Gambia. Congratulations again for the achievement, and we are here with you to keep supporting you. Thank you.
And thank everyone for coming. I don't think I have much to say because the Honorable has stated all the intentions and the plan we have as a ministry and as a team and one big family. It's a journey that we have started, and our doors are open. We want everybody to come on board to make sure that we successfully implement this policy as Gambians.
You must give them the money.
No, but yeah, no, that one is taken care of. It's taken care of, but just to appeal to everyone to come on board. It's a national document, and our doors are open. Whenever you need us, you can come and ask.
We need them now.
Clarification.
Now we need them.
Yes. That's why I say our doors are open. It's a journey that we intend to take with you. So please feel free and contact us, and let's support each other to achieve it for our greater good, for all our next generations to come.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary and staff of the Ministry, and members of the media fraternity which are present here today. The Minister has covered everything. The policy, it's all of us who own the policy. I was just identified to be maybe the pen holder, but the voices and perceptions expressed in the policy are national. They don't belong to anybody. It doesn't belong even to government only. Government and all other stakeholders participated in this process. We went far and wide across this country. We consulted with everybody. As a group, as a heterogeneous group, and also even as a homogeneous group. We had special discussions with special people that we felt that maybe they cannot talk in public. Group of women, group of young people, group of people living with disability, landless, everybody's voice is in it. So the policy is full of hope, and it's a way of really transforming the Gambia. Because land, besides the people, land is the biggest resource that this country has. So we have to efficiently manage it. You had the Honorable Minister highlighted the limitations we have, because we cannot expand land. But then we have to judiciously manage this land. It's important that at least the Minister has called up this, and I had him also saying that this will be a continuous thing, maybe an annual monthly issue, because one of the successful criteria established in the implementation strategy of the policy is public awareness. Because if a policy exists and people are not aware of it,
you're going to defend their rights.
There will be challenge in implementing it. So that's why the media, you are very, very important in the policy implementation. In fact, we should start January 2nd, when the policy started. So anything that you need to know about this policy, please come, even maybe, or put a column for the National Land Policy implementation. So you can be getting contributions, articles every time, so that can also be a way of really generating discussions on the policy implementation. So you are very important. We are having another strategy for it, for the awareness creation. But even before that's finalized in March, we can start this process, because it is very, very important. When people understand the policy, it facilitates its implementation. If you don't understand the policy, when we started this consultation, I will tell you, 30 years ago, even the land policy existed in 1991, the State Right Act and the Land Regions Act, people are not even aware of that content. All these confusions that you hear in the combos and all this, it's because people are ignorant. They don't even know the content of the policy.
They don't even know their rights.
They don't know. So they don't know what their rights are, they don't know what the content is. Because really, what even a lease is, they don't even know it. What's the difference between a lease and a freehold? People don't even know that. So it's a problem. So there are a lot of ignorance around land issues that only the media can help us in really fleshing out this. So I think you'll have a good marriage with the Ministry of Lands. I'm a consultant.
If the World Bank will give the money,
yeah.
They don't marry for nothing.
So you need to really marry with the ministry. You need to do this national duty.
If we get the money, the marriage will be sweet.
Once again, I thank all of you for here in this link.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister and the Permanent Secretaries, for giving me this opportunity. The only thing I wanted to add to what Minister said and the other people, the other speakers, is the land policy also recommended for a national land use plan, because that's also a key in implementing or managing our land. Because land is not only about building houses and sleeping; it has other components. So having a national land use plan is going to help and know even up to the villages that the development has to go through this trend. So that's a key recommendation in the land use in the land policy. That's why I say let me just brought it up, because I know Minister portrays a lot, but some of these things might escape. So that's why I say let me just brought it up.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And then, first of all, I want to start with our the World Bank.
Yeah, this morning.
Yes, he has been with us all along, and then he has been so supportive, and he was always on our love to make sure that we have this policy done. So we thank you very much for your support. And secondly, I just want to make clarification to this. This is a policy that every Gambian owns, and I'm just appealing for every Gambian to feel that this is our document, and we make sure that we implement it to the letter. Implementation is not easy, but we need everybody to join us and ensure that we have this, from the media and any other person who can help us to have this done. So this is something that for the first time we are having it. And when you talk about reform, it's not easy. To change one's mindset is always difficult. This is what we use, and you want to change it. Probably minister are thinking about the digitalization of the process. That's going to streamline our process. But how many people are prepared for this? And how many people are prepared to give support?
That's why we are training others to remove it.
Yeah. So we have to come together and then make sure that you have this thing done. In other countries, even a development fund, you can get it online. You want your lease and any other document, you can get it online. And he has also emphasized that we're going to have a one-stop center. That's going to help us, because institutional collaboration is important. Whether you want to have a diary, you want to have any other stakeholders to get your document, they are all at one place, and then it can make life easy for us. So I'm appealing to everybody for us to come together and make sure.
Not that in Uganda, yes.
Very well.
You are in Uganda.
Yes. So thank you very much.
The floor, there are some important takeaways from the Honorable Minister's speech. He highlighted the issue of political will. That is the bedrock of everything. Political leader at the top level is
President Barrow is very interested in this policy. The whole cabinet.
Yes, and he has taken the
We never tampered with the document.
exactly, and then make sure domesticating it and the language fits our cultural.
All languages.
The permanency of the document, guarantee, assurance for the future generation, and to mention it also. The issue of excessive commodification of our land was highlighted. It's going to be addressed. The cadastral register. So it's a holistic reform which definitely will ensure that there is land justice. He mentioned the Chief Justice, talking about the special court division to expedite, land adjudication. So the bottom line is that this is our national document. The sensitization goes on. You are part of it. The people need to know, like the government maintains an open door policy, dialogue with the media. This is ongoing, and which means that the timeline here highlighted are measurable, which means that you can hold us to account. You say that you are going to implement this thing in March. What's happening? So we always come back and explain, because as you say, there are behavioral challenge issues. You talk about resistance to reform, but you talk about building, upskilling the human capital, to ensure that we move forward. So without taking much time, I'll open the floor to the media.
For 3 questions.
Yeah, okay, 2 each, and then we can run around after. So your name, media organization, 2, and then after then, when there's excess, then we can. We have to know how many. We have 1 hour to go. How long? 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Because of you have actually gone for 50.
No, this is a national thing, so that's one is
important. For 53 minutes, so allow us 1 hour of questions. I'm pleading, because I cannot force you. I can only.
Yeah, okay, let's see how feasible it is, because some people have been up since 2 a.m. So some of us
are the strategy. Since you did your press conference from 3 o'clock, you are the one who decided. We don't tell you.
Yeah, okay, now let's go ahead. So answer your 2 questions: your name, media organization, and.
Thank you so much.
So be on standby for questions. You can ask in our native
language,
local languages. We want more questions in our national languages, because the aim is that the message.
In any language you ask,
don't just restrict yourself to English. It's just it's just a medium of communication. Government wants the message to go down to the people. Ask in any of the local languages, and that will help.
Thank you. So my name is Yusuf Taylor from Askanwi Media.
From
Yusuf Taylor.
From which media?
Askanwi Media.
Askanwi.
Askanwi.
Yes.
Okay.
So the question, my first question is I went on your website and I looked at your documents. There was only 1 document, and it is actually the National Land Policy. But when I downloaded it, this is what I see: the February 2025 draft version. So perhaps my first question is this the most recent? Is this the most recent version? And if it isn't, kindly maybe you can tell us what you will do. So then
let me answer the question.
Yeah, and then my second question.
Let me answer the comment.
No problem.
I think he's right. Our information officer is gone overseas studies, and I've raised this issue that the website is not being properly treated, managed. I have raised it. The departure of one person should not be the reason of a website being dormant. I think that's the truth. We have a document fully endorsed, would have been downloaded, the entire policy, so that they can download it there and get it and read it from A to Z. We will correct that. Yes. Yes. That's the one they should have loaded there. Anybody can download it. It's our mistake. We correct it. Thank you for your observation. We proceed.
Second question, and then we move to the next.
Let's admit where we feel we are wrong.
We are an honest government, so we admit.
Although a lot of my questions were not necessarily of the national land policy.
That is national land policy. Today's theme is national land policy. Anything else you can read? We are having a monthly government.
How is it related to that?
Yeah, so my question is still related to that. I mean, if next time, if you put it in the invite, we will know. Then we will do our questions.
Yes, so if you go download it, they can
We are
download.
partners in this.
Yes.
We continue. We go ahead. So my question is this question that everybody has been asking me to ask. The issue of the missing Kamalo documents. Have they been found? And if you can give a timeline, when will we move from this paperwork? I know you said the cadastral plans are going on. When will we move from that? Yes, from this manual paper. Yes, the Kamalo document.
Yes.
Everybody wants to know. Have you found that document?
Yes, let me answer the question. I said yesterday, before yesterday, all the Kamalo files were returned to the police returned the files to the departments of lands and survey. However, the master missing file is still missing. But that does not stop the police from having completed their job. They returned the files on Monday, and it's now left to the police to come out with a report. And then we proceed. As I said, there will be no secret card in our quest, in this government quest, to establish justice, to fight corruption, and make sure the right thing is done for the government. We are determined for that. That's our goal. The files have been returned. The police have completed that. But I cannot tell you what they have done, what they have found, and what they have decided. That's not to me. I think they need time for that.
Okay, name media organization.
Hi, Africa.
Yeah. So my question will be asked.
Sure. Wolof.
During the new press conference, ñaari laaj la am benn laaj bi mooy wax nga ci police bi wax ngeen ci ba léegi tënk ngeen génn bi ak yoon bi ngeen war a jaar yëpp te gis ne ñu suur ci réew mi jafe-jafe yi doon ak yëpp dina saafara ba wax nga ne sax politique dina ci génn.
Du ci génn waaye du ko yor.
waaw politique
politique moom mu ngi ci lu ne.
politique bu ñuy wax ak politique waaye politique bi maanaam bu ci am doole ba nga xam ne mooy buum mooy buum. ak ci loolu nan ngeen fas yéene liggéey ci ndax gis nañ ne lu ne ci réew mi fii da ngeen di wax ne politique bi ci bokk wala du ci am doole noonu waaye bu ñu demee ba ci cappaandoo bi maanaam implémenté sa doxalin wax na ngeen koy goxee wala ni ngeen ko toggee ak na ngeen koy yekkee doon benn bii ni nan ngeen ko fas yéene
xaaral ma tontu la balaa ngaa wi xam nga lu tax wala dañ cey boole civil society boole ci NGO yi boole si presse bi boole si yeneen civil society groups kooku kenn mënu ko jalgati la fa ne rek nga mën a togg yàq la nga jurub rek nga yàq bu doon ñëw rek a fay ne lii bi ñoo def policy bi legal aspect bi legal side bi baa bi ñoo ko yor gars yi ñu complain nañ ko jox attorney general ci ma may leen mukk baa bi private la dañ leen ko jox parce que lii document yi ñëpp d'accord si ñu jox ko baa bi the baa was responsible so bii buñ koy yekk li ñu loolu la ñoo yekk parce que groupe yi ñu ci boole loolu mun a jënd loolu mun a jalgati soo leen jalgati ñu wàccee la ko ministre yi jëloon lii pour politique ay civil society ay NGO yi ay media bi ay ñëpp ñu toog wàccee la ko yow kenn loolu moom laa wane ne ñun déggu bi déggoo tax ñu boole si ñi ñëpp
wax ngeen ñu nu ngeen def ba lëkkaloo ak liggéey nañ dem jafe-jafe boobu dafay am ci rawatina sax ci seen ay pôle fii nit soxla ko boo xam ne ñu pour nga interview ko dul seen may ko plateforme boo xoolee xaaral ma confirmation kii xaaral ma laaj kii xaaral ma wax ko def xaaral ma man mii am naa si expérience ci loolu noonu tamit xam naa lu ma war a safara loolu du woon ko xëy na kii la laaj bi mooy bëri na xaw ma ndax bokk na ci li ñu war a waxtaane am déet waaye ñun ci li ngeen ñu jot wax tënku leen ñi rek ngir ñu wax ci muy police mooy real estate yi jafe-jafe bi nga xam ne ñu ngi koy am ñu bëri nañ ay scam su ci nekk maanaam jublankat yu bëri ñu wax ne dafa am gox ñoo xam ne government bi moo nekk ci seen ginnaaw ba luñ jublan kenn du leen mën a seet kii moo tudd dañ ko di real estate waaye bëri nañuy joxe ñoo xam ne nguur gi moo leen
thank you xaarama tontu la real estate yi bi ma fi njëkkee ñëw fos bi ma seetee mbir mi approximately they have defrauded Gambians over $500 billion, particularly diasporans. I said there was no law. Law bu fi ne mooy obtaining money by false pretense and criminal charges the police war a def. You gis ne some of these people dégg naa buñ leen arrêté next one day ñu ngi ci mbedd mi mu naqari président lool sax ba am na benn police zone ñëpp la transfert ñëpp dafa génne waaye loolu doyul ñun ñu decide ne there have to be a law to deal with these people. Bill bi mu ngi war a dem validation parce que pare na li tax mu tardé mooy sentence yi ñu fa defoon moo tuuteeg man du ma wër suma àddina yëpp defar suma yëpp dajale ko dem diaspora daw liggéey 3 hours naka 3 jobs 2 jobs ma ñëw doole suma xaalis nga lekk ko ñu lay tëj ay 6 months moo taxoon ma dilee document bi ñu review ko def ci sentence bu ñu la tëjee kaso boo génnee leneen ngay tal waaye doo talati dem naan dafa am koy tappale bil bi nag yaakaar naa right now pare na review rek a ci des attorney general review ko rek ñëbbu ko cabinet ñëbbu ko def député yi ñu woote ko léegi dëgg am ci dëkk démb am nañ meeting ak ministre of interior ak police command ci issue yu demee nii ñu jël seen xaalis jël seen lii ak yu bëri yoo xam ne yi ay tappale yu ne ci réew mi la ci mbiri suuf pour police yi reinforce loi bi ni ñu ko war a defee ci nit parce que nit ku la tappale sàcc kaso la jël dañ ko war a jàpp àtte ko ci yoon waaye am nañ fa response bu rafet nag ci ministre of interior bi wax na kàddu yu rafet te jël na ay jéego te am naa yaakaar ne dinañ am lu saafara sama problème balaa loi bi di génn ñun la gën a nit nga toog nit di la nettali daanu métti bi am na xar ba daanu xom sa kanam loolu barki démb rek lañ si jógee nga lekk alali jàmbur mu wax nga dóor saaga ko damm loxoom ba pare ngay ni dox si mbedd mi loolu mënut a am ci réew nag bu loo am ñun parewuñ loolu loolu nag ne laa yëgal ne nguur gi taxaw na si temm nag te yaakaar naa ne jogo yi léegi tey am lu ñu bu soobee yàlla ku fi foore nga am nga doole yaa ngi tappale ni lekk seen xaalis nga dem léegi nga am loo jël loo daj loo tal du dul koo tappale loolu maa ko wax ci kaw. I was just explaining to them about the estate agency, the scamming that we have in these things. The government have taken measures. The bill will soon be before cabinet, and then of course we had a meeting yesterday with the Minister of Interior and the Police Command, some members of the police, and we believe that some positive things will come out of our concerns to address those issues.
Will you inform us about the place of those officials and who are they? A follow-up question also. You have also.
Let me answer that for you. Madam, the police completed. They returned the files on Monday. We are waiting for the police report. Whoever the police believes will be punished, they will be punished. I cannot preempt what they're going to do. So waiting. I said this before, isn't it? So that one is answered. Move to the next question.
Name organization. Come with in front. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I am just going to work with the newspaper. I have a question to the minister. If you look at the Gambia, we have a best policies, within the regions. But it comes to implementations, we have a challenges with this. So how so and ready are we to implement this land policy?
This policy will be implemented by you and I, all of us together. That's why we are calling it. Did you ever have a policy that people call you for a press conference implementation? This is the first time. Where I told you every month we will update the country on this implementation of this policy. This is like our, secret document for the whole country, for everybody. Even the children yet unborn have an interest in this document. Therefore, our task, all of us together, to make sure that it's implemented. We're updating you every month. We'll update you to tell you how far we are, where we are, and what we have done, what needs to be done. I promise you that, inshallah, it will happen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Koloma from SS Media. SS Media.
The beauty of democracy, media houses are representing every day. So
There are 23 parties.
So it's a.
So how many media?
It's a testament of the government's media policy. Pluralism in the media landscape. Go ahead.
Don't rule him out. I will start targeting you.
Then how can your ministry justify demolition operations in residential layout like Salaki? And what protection exists from residents who claim they hold legitimate allocation of inherited rights?
Every demolition that was done in accordance with the law, and we are here to enforce the law, and we will continue to enforce the law. Thank you.
Okay,
next question.
It's a mic. It's my mic. Making sure.
Mustafa Dabo. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to ask a couple of questions. First is the issue of change of views. There are a couple of become a tradition. The tradition is required to people apply for land. Then they go and apply for change of views. Turn it into there are instances like that. There are times also when even when they are rejected, they just go ahead and change it. There are few incidents of that. So if you would have been allowed, ministry going to do something about it. The second issue is.
But let's deal with that before we move, because it's a very important question. And it's a question that preoccupied my desk since I became a minister. I realized this change of view, there was a lot of unacceptable practices, I will use that word, in the process. And there was also lack of transparency in the manner that it was being done. And now, as a ministry, we have decided even the 40% that government was supposed to take from you, where it is necessary, where it is applicable, we don't even accept payment terms for it now. Instead, the land revert back to government. Because what we saw, I have a typical example, I don't want to quote that example. You will say that you have a land for agriculture that was given to you. You go to a state agency, Ascan Media, whatever, and then you now tell them, we want to sell you this land, but it's agricultural. Say, but you must go and get change of use. So what they will do, they will come to the ministry. How they want, government will not get that 40% of that land. They will pay an amount and be given a change of use. That has stopped. Not since I became a minister. Am I right? In extreme circumstances where we believe it's not much, we normally ask a private evaluator, we ask them to go and value the land. Where it is not much, we accept those circumstances and then you go and pay to the market value price of, if it is whatever small it is, you pay it to the bank and then come with your receipt and we process it. But 95% is not accepted for now. as far as I can remember for. Because there was, as you are right, absolutely. There are a lot of bad games being played there. But it's no more. Ask them now. They will tell you that they are not getting it anymore.
Would there be accountability for those that are working? Because, I mean,
Well,
even when I was
well,
coming,
you see,
I was told there is a particular individual who's got a land to build something that, for example, out of the house. The person has turned it into a big, massive real estate.
I'm not aware of that. You see,
something like that.
Yeah, I'm coming. What I'm saying. You see, sometimes it's difficult when you don't have cooperation from every sector. When you want this type of, and that's why we have the management team together, where people feel they have something to raise. They come to us and tell us in that management, say, look, I have this, and then we call the parties. We confront them. These things, this information, we don't have. They will be more than happy to have that information. I can assure you that we'll invite the parties to come and justify who gave him that, how he got it. That will do. That's normal. But then we cannot know some of these things. When some of them connive with other people, when you are sitting here, you don't know what's happening, it's impossible. But I do know that since I became a minister here, change of land use has been a nightmare for most of them. That much I can tell you. Because to tell you the truth, so one of our biggest challenges today in the Gambia is about these exchange agencies. And unless we bring that law for them to be accountable, we risk going to war. Because people cannot continue to be losing their money, their wealth, and nothing comes out of it. And they see these people walking in the street, freely nothing happened to them. They cannot continue in the Gambia. Something must be done. And this government is determined. The bill is waiting for Attorney General approval. We submit it to Cabinet, and then we take it to Parliament to enact. And period.
So this other question goes to the issue of governments on integrity. So, for example, you have a number of communities that have government itself to have fight on justice.
Yeah.
But there are a number of communities where there has been a series of allocations that the community members have dealt to the government. In a number of those cases, you have the politically connected. Also, you may call them members of the who have been allocated now. We have cases like this in Lamen, we have a case like this in food, and also cases like this in Yundum, where people were being given community structures. So the question is, if you have a situation like that, which goes to the integrity of the very government that is calling for a proper land
usage.
And that could jeopardize.
Let me help you. That's why the diaspora who contributed in this document, one of them, a very intelligent chap from Mane, yes. Live in the United Kingdom. I think they accepted almost all his contributions in the document. Now the policy is even saying, before you take my land, you compensate me. Not anymore the reverse way. Take my land and then compensate by your wish. No, this current policy is saying, no, you cannot take my land. You give me, compensate me first, market value, and then you take my land. That's the new policy. And that's why we have to amend the laws, so that you will have the power to reinforce that, because the current law is not saying that. And that's why you are having this tender to have consultants to, advise us as to how to go about this. But we are cases where we believe that we can make some corrections. We have already embarked on that. I don't want to be specific because these are families of people, cabildos, but they do know that we have embarked on a policy to try to at least give them better compensation from what they had from the state. Having listened to them and heard them in their own narration, this government is working on trying to help some of those communities that have been affected. Even yesterday we had a visit somewhere, and I listened to the persons. We're starting that on Monday, Tuesday, to see how we can redress some of their concerns, because some of the concerns are genuine. So
there are also cases where you have from politicians themselves. So, for example, when a National Assembly member, picture of a National Assembly, except they get along in a crime rate.
Yes.
When a minister gets appointed in a new government, they get along. Politicians who some of them don't have any specific public services role, they get along.
What about civil servant? You don't mention it. You are not mentioning civil servant.
Yeah, so they get that.
No, excuse me. It's not. Let me help you, Mustafa. Sorry, what's the name of your organization?
Republic.
Yeah, Republic. Let me start. Sorry for addressing you by your name, Mr. Republic Media House. Let me put it this way. Let me help you. You see, because the issue of land allocation has been happening here since yesteryears. And it's not limited only to politicians and people in elected offices. Of course, civil servants, even individuals outside government have benefited in the past. That's why when the government realized that we do not have enough land anymore to give, we came with what we call the affordable housing program, where you own a house by renting it. The rent you pay go towards the cost of your house. And you have a decent house, you can house your family. We are almost rolling out. You understand? To make sure that we build houses for you, myself, him, where you can get a house, stay with your family, whatever rent you pay, go past the cost of the house. Because that would ease that situation. And that's not going to be only in the urban Banjul. It will be throughout the country. Because now you realize most people are going back home. Land has become too expensive, living in the commons. They are building better houses in the provinces today than you can find in any part of it. The best houses today, you can find them in the remotest of village. Because this government has provided electricity, this government has provided access to those villages, this government has provided water in those villages. Therefore, people feel comfortable to go and live there than spending 500,000, 1 million buying a plot of land here. They will go back home, build their houses, and be going there on weekends to stay with their families. And their families stay there, they travel, they come in.
I'm not sure you answered my question.
No, what I'm saying.
Let him answer and then we move to the next.
What I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Republican, land allocation has been happening here all along. But this government realized the land is no longer available to allocate to everybody. And that's why we are coming with the policy of affordable housing.
Now I am asking, is this practice going to be stopped? So, for example, you come, I mean, even President has allocated some land to, some of these politicians. I mean, that is the kind of practice I am asking, is that practice going to stop?
Mr. Mustafa, the land allocation policy is part of the laws of this country. It will continue to exist. But it will exist fairly and justly. That's what I can tell you.
So let's move to the next question. The time is going on and we have a lot of interesting questions. It's getting so yeah, go ahead. Your name and media organization.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
They are waiting for one document to start eating. They are already here. They are machines. In this country, when you start good things, you have to be good.
Yes, go ahead. Time is going.
My name is Nobusal. I'm a freelance journalist.
Freelance journalist.
Yeah, in your statement, you said that the government needs 50 million to implement the land policy.
Not me, it's the strategic planners and the World Bank who said so. I'm just saying what they said.
Yeah, and yes. You gave a timeline of March that the legislative process is going to start.
No, it started already. It started already.
But you said that the money is already at hand.
No, we have to raise this money gradually, not one day. They will not give you 50 million at one time. If we are paying the journalists and the media houses for some of this work, we don't need the $50 million in our pockets.
So, can you speak how that $50 million?
So, there is also a policy. This document will be made public and they should be downloaded in our website. Let them access it. We should download it. This is not a secret document. This is a public document. Everybody has a right to know what's there. So we should download the strategic document in the website, download the entire policy in the website. So people can see it and take us to task.
Yeah, next media organization.
Yeah.
So your time is going. We have 30 minutes.
20 minutes or 30?
20. 13, 1 3.
The public, they are saying what they are doing.
Yeah, my to Alassane Ba. For Alassane TV.
For Alassane Ba TV? Can only you find it? Wow, for Alassane TV. Yes, I will do that TV. Speak any language. Ask any language.
Okay. Ma ñëw ci question may laaj mooy ci mbiri lance fu mu nekk ne gis nañ ne ci ob bi ñu ngi am benn issue boo xamante ni boobu dafa yaata mooy nga abal nit ki tool for 10 years ba pare kooku ñëw mu ne tool bi moo ko moom fu mu nekk ni daanaka moo fa
serious crisis.
Yeah, problème bu rëy fii.
Yoo xam nga lu waral liñ ko stoppé. Léegi da nga am title of your tooli papa. Dañ laa defal title deed customary. Every land now will have ownership. Title boobu nga am su boobaa bi nga yóbboo ko waaye léegi amuloo title dégg nga yaa ko moom traditionally donc day indi yenn ay atte yu ñaaw si diggante bi waaye sa land la abal nit land taxut nga ñàkk sa land. It's your property. We will discuss that during the sensitization. But now to avoid that. Because we discovered this during the tour, consulting people, as you said. Now, everybody will be given ownership, title ownership of the land that you have. Sa village, sa people live mom. Na am kay born in a toll B, measurement B, more common. That is a key. Understand? I think that will solve the problem of people taking up land, claiming your common peka bomun.
Then the mooy very compa. Loolu nag du ci plateforme bi nii waaye dama.
waxuma ci plateforme bi rek bañ pare. dañoo ci loolu
ci religious na moo tax.
waaw waxal.
ok gis nañ ne youth yi fu mu nekk nii ñu dee use ci mbiri drogue bi dafa bëri te ñoom ñoo future leaders yi ëllëg léegi yow ban lii ngay jox ustaas yi ak pastor yi ngir ñu adresse loolu noonu si seen xutba yi ngir youth yi ñu mën a.
well it cannot even boobu benn la bu ko mun a defar waaye li gën a am solo mooy waajur yi ak school si ak social media itself gis nga dëkk yu bari fi mu ne ñu ngi adresse mbiri social media Angleterre Australia France barki démba because it's now damaging our youth throughout léegi da ngaa dem ci kër sa xale yi duñu study ñu ngi ci mobile bi 24/7 exams results are poor. So now, pour ñu adresse loolu parents yi ñoo ko war a njëkkee yar sa doom em loo ko fi mu war a em def loo ko li mu war a def te bu ci seet cofeli doom pour nga bañ koo stop ko pour ëllëgam la ñaareel bi school si dañ war di jàngal xale yi di danger of this drugs le ab ci boo xam ne ñoo am bés boo xam ne they will have a meeting all the students taxaw ñu educate leen about it that would also help reduce it. ñetteel bi itam mooy there is a lot of arguments here because ñu ngi laa woon ne in other countries mun nga ñaa bàyyi nit ñi boo leen aayewul dara dañ koo fàtte. I'll give you one example yéen fii su mayee few people here xamu leen lu ñoo woyee kubee jaara xamu leen ko.
xam nañ ko TRRC moo tax ñoom.
so exactly so di nga gis ne kubee jaara bu doon rey nit yi fii. di nga gis ko naan rek jël paaka rey sa yaay rey sa papa government bi commencé di arrest nit ñi bi government stopé arrest nit ñi police yi téyetuñ kenn ñëpp fàtte Kubee Jaar mais fi mu ne nii génération doon even know what's Kubee Jaar kon sànga li ma la te mu ngi sax bu ñu si mbéy day yaa ngi ko war a bàyyi de moo gën a garaaw ko kenn bi ngaa jël nii waaye xam nga because government decided at the time for some reason nit ñi ne fàtte leen mbiri Kubee Jaar it's history. So other people are arguing, other scientists and other, sociologists are saying they should neglect marijuana because a couple of years down the line, nobody talks about it. Because the human mind is so complex that they will use l'incotere for one intelligence because they defeat, they resist. So once I've been a ne bu ko nit ñi fàtte woon rek fu 5 years down the line kenn du waxati mbiri drug bi la but scientists differ in these issues so ñun as a small country small nation dañu war a seet rek advice suñu xale yi pour ñu bàyyi lii ñu desist from it ñun ñëpp ñu bokk.
fooguloo ne comme parents yi si seen boppa dañu ragal nguur gi because dañ dee wax ne comme soo waxee yaa ngi yar sa xale at the end xale bi yóbbu la police parents bi la ñoo arrêté ba pare tëj ko understand so loolu parents yi de mën na nekk loolu moo tax léegi ñemeetuñu yar te booba time boobu noonu man naa fàttaliku ba wante ni gansa su doon romba si dëkka gis xale def lu bon dafa waaja jël xale bi door ko tere ko lu ma def te loolu yëpp léegi dañ ko tere même school si sax léegi teacher ñemewut a yar xale understand because ragal loolu noonu
waaw xam nga lu waral loolu ma dimbal la pour nga tëj boobu mooy sa last question évolution dafa am child rights am people's rights am develop looloo tax fi mu ne nii ku nekk sa right dañ koo respect bu ne tan ci trend media
waaw man suma laajte bi mooy jot nga see wax waaye duguloo ci bu baax a baax mooy doole nit ñi amul am na ñoo xam ne ñu gën a am seen morom so dangaa gis ne ñi gën a am seen morom dañ dee jël opportunité ci grab plan yi bëri nga gis kenn nit mu mun a am ay fit wala lu ko romba ñeneen ñi they are even non Gambian so man lu ma bëgg a laajte ndax seen kayit bii ni joxe na outline boo xam ne there is a specific number allocated to Gambians and non Gambians.
Abdou answer question boobu. waaw comme ni ko ministre waxee benn ci sarta yi nga xam ne moom la politique bi xeex mooy mbiri loolu gis nañ ñi nga xam ne am nañ xaalis benn ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi nekk ñu am doole kon lu jënd si laan bi ñi amul dara ñu am dara so loolu politique mu ko xeex moo tax dafa joxe limite benn bu ñu dëkkul am na loo xam ne mënu la ko jël am na place yoo xam ne wala bu mën a am war a am heure bu nekk li ko war a mën a am itam dafa am limite soo nekkul soo newee Gambien soo jógee Basse ñëw Kombo mënuloo am place boo xam ne war naa participer you cannot have it in any region. If you are in Congo also, you go to URA, you cannot have more than 50 by 50. It's not allowed. To protect the indigenous. So the indigenous people, they have more space. So if you don't have more than a sponsor, I
think they need to read the policy. Wow. You have to download it quickly.
Policy we are going to for am people. But you could read it questioning like
I'm surprised it's not.
Why we found this is a policy. We would be money particularly in Amudwan. We want keep on this policy in Bokare. What our minister on let for comments to be considered. We Amudwale, Dini, near Hamlet Lago, this, we consider it. Very sure. So